Hi, Dave Weiss here with the amok.amokarts.com video blog of the day. Still working on this big project and having a great time with it. If I look a little bleary-eyed, it's probably because I've hardly slept and it's like 4:30 in the morning. And I'm really hoping that once I get this done that I'll be able to go back to sleep. But anyway, this is one of those messages that I feel like I need to get out again, and I've been thinking about it, and I just know I need to share it with you. This is a situation where sometimes you get to the point where you realize that you're not doing everything right. I'm doing all this great creative stuff right now, and I'm having a great creative time, and yet you know how it is when you feel like something is missing, and you just know it, and you're not sure what it is, but you know that you're not quite going in the right direction. Well, I think that's what's happening with me right now. You see, I have this dream. I have this dream of using the arts to make a difference in the world, of using the arts to share the gospel of Jesus Christ and to serve other people. And I've been trying to make it happen. I've been trying really hard, and honestly, instead of just being obedient and doing what I can do day after day, like I keep telling you to do, I think in a way I've been trying to force it. And as I've been trying to force it, I've sort of been losing sight of the bigger picture. I've sort of been trying to do it in my own strength with my own resources and thinking, well, what can I do with my own power right now? And honestly, it's not working. And I'm starting to feel very discontent. I'm kind of irritable around the house and some of these other things. And I just need to confess that to you guys right now as a way of letting you know that I don't always get it right either. Here's the thing. I've been trying to turn this ministry into a thing where it's a speaking ministry where I get to go out and earn my living doing this and all that other stuff. And don't get me wrong, that is what I hope eventually will happen. But in the process, I've kind of been tuning things down a little bit instead of just holding on to God and keeping on going. See, I just don't want to go out there just so I can teach people how to do a better show at church. I mean, if your call is to minister in the church, that's great, and it's important, and it's one of the things that I want to help people do. But I also need to remember that part of my calling is to the streets. Part of my calling is to those people who are where I was when I found Jesus. People who are very consumed by art, people who are very consumed by doing this kind of thing, but don't have any real connection to the Creator. And I need to remember that part of my calling is in working with those people as well. I need to stop pressuring myself because this pressure isn't mine. And if you're in a place where you're pressuring yourself and you're wondering why God's not moving, maybe He's waiting for you to get out of the way. I think maybe that's what it is with me. So today I just want to tell you guys all this. I'm giving my dream back to God. I'm realizing that it's His anyway. And I'm realizing that I need to spend a little more time connecting with Him and a little less time trying to make things happen on my own. Guys, this ministry always has belonged to Him anyway. And in a very real sense, I have been trying to keep it that way. But sometimes you get a little off track. And it reminds me of this verse that Jesus gave us. He said, if anyone would come after me, he must deny himself and take up his cross daily and follow me. This Christian life that we live, whether we're serving Him with art or whatever we're doing, it's a daily thing. And we need to examine ourselves daily, and we need to realize when we're getting out in front of God. And we need to slow down in that point, turn around, grab a hold of Him, and walk hand in hand with Him. And that's what I'm trying to do. And I hope that's what you'll try to do too, especially if you get in a place where you feel like you're a little bit out of whack. It's like I say, I don't feel like I'm in major sin here. I don't feel like life is falling apart or any of that stuff. I just feel like something's not quite right. Right after Jesus gave us that verse, it's Luke 9:23, by the way, He goes a little further. He says, for whoever wants to save his life will lose it. But whoever loses his life for me will save it. That's that idea, not just of dying outright, but it's the idea of dying to self, of denying yourself. And it's also of this idea of sometimes we need to lay things down and connect with Him because He's what's most important. And he finishes it out by saying this: what good is it for a man to gain the whole world and yet lose or forfeit his very self? Guys, I'm as committed to this as I ever was. I'm as committed to you as I ever was. And I really hope that you will continue to tune in. You'll continue to listen to what God is giving me. But in order for God to keep giving me things, I need to make sure that I'm connected to Him, and that I don't just start making things up. And so you won't be hearing from me for a few days, mainly because I'm going to be out of town, but also because I do feel like there's a little bit of reconnection here that needs to be done. Since I had this revelation, God's really drawn me into the Word, and I've seen some really great stuff already. And, it's great when you can just leave it in His hands. And with that, folks, I'm going to leave this in His hands, and I'm going back to bed. And I just appreciate you taking the time to listen. I want you to know that I love and care about each of you, even if I haven't met you yet, even if I'll never meet you, because if you're trying to do this thing, I know that God has brought us together for a purpose. And even if He hasn't brought us together for a purpose, maybe He just brought us together so He can have me remind you that He loves you. And because He loves you, I love you too. You take care. God bless.